whatever this is called, I guess, WitchFix videos. I have a spooky box for you. It is so very late. It was meant to be last month's spooky box, and then at the end, like literally the 30th of, what month are we in now? Oh god. Literally like the 30th of August, it changed from we're waiting for the last 2 items in this box to one of the items in this box has been poorly manufactured and we need to have it done all over again. And then that changed a couple of days ago to these will start going out from the 10th now, and now it's the 11th. So obviously I got my box pretty quickly after that, which was, I'm going to say good, even though to be fair at this point it is like nearly a month and a half late. I'm going to talk a little bit about why this is going to be my last spooky box after I've opened it, because I know people are probably watching like being like, oh, I want to see what's in the box, which is fine. That's why this video exists, so you get to see what's in the box, and then I'm going to just talk a little bit about the final item which came in last month's box, which is the pin that you've seen my previous video was missing from my box and which came in the post later, and then we're going to get into why this is my last spooky box, potentially ever, so stay tuned after the unboxing for that whole mess. So without further ado, we're going to get into this month's box, which is the Witch's Garden theme. This is a sticker. I really like the actual art of the sticker and all the advertisements for this. It's kind of like a vintage, slightly gothic floral print. I really hope that's echoed in the stuff that's in this box. I don't know what their social media person was doing for this box, because like literally the advert for it came out on like the last day of the month that you could subscribe to it, so there we go. Before I get into this, I did actually make a little list, based on the theme of like, that's a to-do list, of like stuff that I hoped would be in this versus stuff that I hoped wouldn't be in this, and I made this like over a month ago, so I'm going to hit you up with it. So basically what I hoped for this, because it's like Witch's Garden themed, my hope is for like a cauldron shaped plant pot. I think that would be really cute. Also maybe some herb prints, like sometimes we get art prints, that would look really nice in my herbiary, as long as it's not too cartoony. And maybe some jewellery that involves like real plants, because we've had jewellery that had like a real butterfly wing in it before, and that was really cool. So I was thinking maybe something like pressed leaves or ferns or something, flowers. That might be really pretty, and definitely something that I'd probably keep. What I really hope not to get is plant labels, which I know they've done before, and I've seen them like for sale on eBay, but they look like really flimsy plastic. I don't really need those. I make my own, and to be honest, I don't grow a lot of like the basic plants that you tend to get in those labels, like basil and chives and all that stuff. I really hope that they don't include generic incense or goddammit tea, and also none of their like fabric pieces, because last time we had like a spooky box, because that's what this is, with a sort of garden theme. There was this big pennant wall hanging which was like a skeleton with plants on it. It was so cartoony, and we've had several pieces like that which are just like nylon fabric, like a team flag that you would buy on eBay, which aren't like lined on one side, but they're meant to be like scarves or like something you would wear, and they're so scratchy and cheap feeling that I wouldn't even hang it on the wall. And to be honest, when I put those on eBay, they've gone like for quite a bit of money, like nearly the sum of the box itself, and I don't understand. So I'm hoping we don't get anything like that. And the box feels kind of like average weight, maybe slightly on the heavy side. So here's hoping. I'm going to give you guys the first look. Am I about to be horribly disappointed? You can't tell me. There is no viewfinder. Oh god. Oh god, there's a hat in here. Why? Okay, so there's the cheat sheet thingy. Thank you card. I'm just going to lift that up. Oh god, it's got a bow on it. Oh, Jesus. This is not... Okay, so this is a black baseball cap. Do goths wear baseball caps? Because this is meant to be like kind of gothic style themed. I know they've done beanies before, but I don't think baseball hats are very like gothy. Just a piece of cardboard in there. So it's a baseball cap that says Gravedigger. On the back it says spooky, and it has this kind of like bow of like satin fabric that's only satin on one side, it's not satin on both sides. I think this is a little bit young for me, to be honest. I'm like 28, I don't really wear baseball caps. I don't really have a hat for heads either. A hat for heads, a head for hats. I have like the one beanie and it comes out in the winter time when it's really cold, so I don't really like this. I don't see what this has to do with witches or gardening. It's more to do with grave digging or graves. So I'm going to put that to one side to go on eBay. And what else do we have in here? Okay, we have a pink and blue lollipop. Not much to say about that. We have, oh Jesus, tea. Okay, so this is a mini hanging apothecary plant vial on jute string. A set of 6 glass vials suspended on jute string, ready to fill with plant cuttings, air plants, succulents, etc. Packaged in this little cardboard container, which is at least recyclable. I'm just going to unwrap these so I can see what they look like. Okay, I don't know that I can be bothered to take all this plastic wrap off, but if you can see there, they look like those really cheap glass test tubey things that I had in my high street haul from the works, except without the cork stoppers, and they've just tied some string around them. So yeah. Yeah, so as you can see, it's a length of string, which has some bottles literally just tied to it with some knots. I can make this in like 5 minutes. I have exactly this string. I bought a big massive ball of it from Wilkinson's to hang herbs up with. And again, these little vial things, you can buy these from The Range, Wilkinson's, not Wilkinson's, The Works, lots of places. This is not really worth anything. The only thing I could think to do with this would be to put like different colours of resin in here to make it look like potions. I don't really think you'd be able to get plants small enough with an air plant that it would grow in there. What else have we got in here? Okay, we have blackberry and mint tea. The one thing I will say about Spooky Box is that you get quite a good amount of tea, more than you get in the witch casket, so that's pretty good. And it includes like all the ingredients on this. This is spearmint, hibiscus, blackberries, elderberries, rose hips, natural flavours and berry aromas. This is probably going to a friend who I give all the tea to because I don't really drink tea. So I guess if you were into that, that would be something to enjoy. We have a little black packet of seeds. My Gothic Garden Black Flower Collection. Follow the instructions provided inside to grow your own spooky flower patch. Inside you will find pansy, sweet william, cornflower and hollyhock in black colours. What I will say is that it is halfway through September. The growing season for everything is over. Basically you plant seeds in the spring. So I don't get why these are in here when I can't actually plant them right now. There are 3 items left, so I'm going to get the pin. This is a quite large scythe or sickle, and it says you reap what you sow on the banner. I quite like the design. It is a bit big to go on my jacket, so I might get rid of that, but it is quite cute. Again, it has more of a death theme than a witch's garden theme. Like, we've got a gravedigger hat, a scythe pin, like black flowers. I feel like this box is more themed to graveyards or gothic graves than it is to witches. Then we have a little voile bag with a tea strainer in it. Okay, so it's basically one of these like metal tea strainers. You can get these basically anywhere. But it has this little piece of amethyst on one end, which is at least cute, and if I did drink tea I would use this. I already have like a silicone one which has which is like the shape of a skull. But yeah, there's a little tea infuser ball thing, which I guess you could use for like potions and stuff, but again, this is a bit fiddly. I'm not really a tea drinker, so I feel like it's not spooky tea box, so I'm kind of annoyed that they constantly give you like tea, things to do with tea. Like, we've had a teaspoon before, several tea strainers. Like, if you don't like tea, you're just kind of fucked, really. And then we have what looks like an item of jewellery, so I'm just going to open this up. It's very heavy, like quite a lot of metal. Oh, okay, I think it's a mandrake, if you can kind of see it. like in Harry Potter, like a little man shape made of roots, with a little leaf coming out of the top. That's quite chunky and heavy and not something that I would wear on like such a short chain. I would have preferred, again, like something a little bit more wearable in the day-to-day. Like, I do quite like this necklace, which came in the last box, which is like a more modern style, but this isn't really something that I would necessarily wear to work. So that's everything that was in the box. I'm just going to check the list, but I think we did get everything. So custom-made gravedigger cap, custom-made apothecary plant hanger, bottles on string, blackberry mint tea sampler, custom-made amethyst crystal tea ball infuser, custom-made Gothic garden flower seeds. Can you call a packet of seeds custom-made? It's sort of custom packaged, really. My Gothic garden flower seeds, I just said that. Screaming mandrake necklace, you reap what you sow, scythe pin, bubblegum gourmet lollipop. It's my last month getting this box and they finally put the flavour of the fucking lollipop on the thing. Hallelujah. I wrote to their customer service department ages ago when they were still doing like the normal gourmet lollipops, like the kind of round flat ones, and said, you know, because they didn't have the flavour on the packaging, could they put it on the thing? And I got back some, not overtly hostile, but like pretty brusque sounding comment of just like, oh well, we don't know the flavours ahead of time, we put like different lollipops in different boxes, when we run out of one flavour. I was like, okay, fine, whatever, it's just helpful when I know, you know, am I going to like this flavour or is it one that I can give to my brother? But now they're putting it on there, so that's fine. I kind of didn't get anything of the sort of thing that I was expecting. Theme-wise, I would not call this a Witch's Garden box. I think the sticker on the front, which is like the imagery they used to advertise the theme, was this like gothic floral print. There's nothing in here that really says florals to me, or even that colour scheme. It's all like black stuff. The hat and the pin are more graveyard themed than anything else. So are the black flowers. The tea isn't really themed to anything. You get tea in quite a lot of these boxes. The tea strainer is cute. I do like it. I would probably be pretty chuffed to receive that in a different box if I was interested in drinking loose leaf tea. I'm not really, but you could still, like, I don't know, break that part off and use it as a pendulum, or keep it and use that for making potions. So, I mean, that's an okay thing to have. This thing is the cheapest load of bullshit that I've ever seen in my entire life. It's a piece of string that you can buy a whole roll of for 90p, and 6 little bottles that you can buy a pack of for £1 at a craft shop. And it's just been like tied together. There isn't even anything like on the bottom to like finish it off, like a charm or something. It's not on like a special kind of ribbon. These aren't like stained glass apothecary bottles like blue or green. It's just a cheap load of nonsense. And this box is like £27. So I'm a little bit pissed. And then we've got the necklace, which I'm sure some people would like. It's not really my thing, which again, I'm not blaming the box for that, but I feel like it is the only thing that is moderately witchy in this box. Aside from the tea strainer, which has a crystal on it, you've got like a mandrake, which is more, I know it's not exclusively a Harry Potter thing, but it's more like a Harry Potter themed item than like a witch themed item, or more like a kind of haunted garden theme. Whereas the box's theme was meant to be witch's garden, and I'm not getting a lot of witch. I have to say, I'm not particularly happy. So while I sit here and untangle this, I'm sorry for being a bit of a downer in this unboxing. And it's not like these are like sent to me for free or anything. I do pay for these with my own money, so it's quite disappointing. Probably going to put some of this stuff on eBay, probably a lot of it. So this is going to be my last spooky box for a number of reasons. Now last month I was quite happy with my box initially because I got a cup, a travel cup in it, which I really wanted. Several of the items were quite witchy themed. I got like an as above so below patch, and you can go and watch that video separately. But I was missing my pin, so I wrote to them in email. They got back to me like the next day and were like, oh, we'll send that out in the post. It arrived like a day later, so that aspect of the customer service, grand, fine, lovely. Everyone makes mistakes. you know, they were sending out a lot of boxes. It's only natural that one or two of them is going to be missing something, so I was not mad about that at all. Then the pin came and I got mad because, and if you've seen some other unboxing videos of this box, you already know what it looks like. I will try and put a picture of it somewhere on here. I have sold it on eBay, so I can't hold it up for you. It was not a pin, it was a rosette badge of the kind that you get on birthday cards. Like a plastic pin badge with like a black satiny ruffle around the edge and two little black satiny bits. Basically something that you would give the spookiest horse at the Grand National. And it was cheap, it was made of plastic and like nylon ribbon, like again the kind of thing you get on the front of a birthday card. That's not a pin. This is a pin. It has a pin back. The other thing is a badge. And this is the kind of pin that we always get in Spooky Box. A metal pin or an enamel pin with a metal pin back. But last month they just decided to send us a crappy rosette badge that just said witch across the front, and I'm honestly unsure as to whose style that is meant to suit. Definitely not mine, unless, you know, I was playing a mini Grand National just for witches. I've watched the Haunted Bat unbox this box. It's a great YouTube channel. I'll try and remember to link that below, no promises. And she's always really happy with the boxes that she gets. I'm a lot more critical. And I'm not saying that as like a mean thing, but like, because I just generally am a more cynical person, and all I can see is money floating out of my bank account and me not getting a huge amount in return. But I like watching her videos because she's always really positive about the stuff and really excited about it. Even she hated that badge and didn't like that box very much and said that she was considering cancelling her subscription. And that's sort of when it hit home to me that these boxes have been kind of going downhill in my view, and I'm just not getting the good stuff out of them that I wanted. The last good box I think I got was like either the insect themed one, which was like over a year ago, or the bibliography or like library themed one, which came with like a notebook and various book themed stuff. I'm not getting the kind of stuff in them that I will use. I'm not even really getting stuff in them that fits the theme, because I got like this box for witchy stuff. Very little of this is actually witch themed. It's just sort of generic, creepy, grave themed. They haven't really done anything in terms of like witch's garden, in terms of the routes that could have taken. You know, there's whole books written about witch gardening, herbs, plants and that sort of thing. And they didn't even think to do like a plant pot in the shape of something that you could actually plant a plant in. Instead we got like this bunch of bullshit, which is just ridiculous. So I'm kind of not feeling it, and I don't think that I'm getting the value for it. Also, a lot of things they say are like custom for Spooky Box Club. I'm starting to doubt that. Some of the things like the travel cup from the last month and some of the jewellery which is like stamped SBC on it, I can see that that is custom made for them. This, again, probably custom made because it says like spooky on it. It seems to have been deliberately made for them. But some of the things they say are custom made, like the hair grips from last time, the head ornaments, I've seen on eBay for like £3 for the set. So I think what they've done is just repackaged it with some Spooky Box branded card as a backing and called it custom for them. I don't have the sheet for that anymore, so I can't actually see if they call that custom, but it would not surprise me if they had. So things like that, just like, I'm not getting £27 worth of value. And to be honest, I'd rather pay more for a box, like £30, or I'm definitely going to get items in there that I'm going to use, that I'm going to like, that are going to match like the witchy theme that it's meant to have, and that are well made and actually custom made for that box and that I can't get anywhere else. And I feel like this box is just not doing it for me anymore. So, sorry if you're here for the Spooky Box reviews, because I feel like this one has been a bit of a downer. And obviously there won't be any more, unless someone decides to get me one as a present for a birthday or something, because I'm kind of done spending my money on these. I do have coming more witch caskets. I've paid for this month's already, so that should be coming this month, because they do that at Witch Casket. And I'm also getting next month's because it's just like, obviously it's October, Halloween month. big exciting month for witchy stuff, so I figured I'd get that one and then see how I feel about them, because I wasn't really wowed by my first month. I have a Fairy Loot crate coming soon, or a Fairy Loot box I should say, not Loot crate, which is meant to have like a book in it which is witch themed as well, so I'm going to do a separate podcast episode reviewing the book after I've reviewed the box. That's going to be very exciting. But yeah, this stuff I'm kind of done with, and let me know with a thumbs up if you'd be interested in me doing a giveaway. I'm not entirely sure how I would run that giveaway. I've had a couple of ideas about just like how I would get you guys to enter that, because I've never had to do one before, so I don't know what I'm doing. And so if you have any ideas, let me know if there's a sort of competition element that you'd like to see. And in the meantime, I will see you in the next video or episode. And make sure that you stay tuned, because a review for some Silver Ravenwolf books will be going up shortly, and we're going to have a good time. So, I'll see you. Bye!